Hello, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, thanks for joining me. As you can see by the title, I'll be sharing with you guys on this video some parts of my Tulum trip that I recently took last month, and I just want to share those memories that I was able to create during this trip. So if you want to see what I did in Tulum, stick around and let's get started. Our flight to Cancun was a smooth ride, so there's no complaining there. We were happy about that, but I do want to share a little bit about our experience arriving to Cancun International Airport so that you know what to expect. Now, keep in mind that you're arriving to an airport that has many tourists there, so it's a little chaotic, but it was all well until you hit like the last doors to go outside. Please keep in mind that there'll be a lot of people there trying to lure you in, saying that they'll help you find your transportation, but in reality, they're trying to get you to buy packages with them. So just be careful. I would just say keep going, don't stop, have your transportation information on hand and ready so that you can find your bus or whatever you're taking. We arrived to Bahia Principe Tulum, which is the resort that we chose for our stay. Now, because Cancun and Tulum are very far away from each other, literally they're on opposite sides, it took us 2 hours almost to get there, so it was a long day for us. We were tired for sure, but upon our arrival to the resort, we were very happy and very amazed by how beautiful it is. I didn't get many videos as I thought I did, but as you can see, it looks very nice. The people there were amazing. Overall, a great resort. If I have to give it some points, minus points, is the food wasn't amazing and the room wasn't all that. But the room, we weren't there that much, so it didn't matter. I just didn't like the bathroom or the shower. But overall, amazing, super clean and super friendly staff. We did arrive on a Thursday, but I'm not counting that as our day numero uno because we really didn't do much since it was a later time. So day numero uno, we woke up early, went to the buffet to try out the food. And like I mentioned, the food wasn't like amazing. However, I do have to say that they had a big selection of options for whatever you wanted. It wasn't bad food, I just felt like it was missing something, but overall it was good. They did have a lot of options again, and the staff was super friendly. We did walk to the beach that the resort had nearby. As you can see, there's a lot of seaweed, and throughout the morning we would see people cleaning the seaweed that was coming in, so it didn't look so as beautiful as you would see it in pictures or videos, but it's because of all the seaweed that's coming in, so they're constantly cleaning all that seaweed out. But it was a beautiful day. The first day wasn't super hot, and surprisingly that was the day that we got the most tan. I was hurting the next day, but it was still beautiful, perfect weather to be outside relaxing, reading my book, just listening to nature. It was such a good first day for us to just relax and be in the pool, have some margaritas, some piña coladas, and enjoy our time there. They did have the party staff that would come out every now and then. They would do stretches, exercises at the beginning, dancing and welcoming everybody. And then it was time for us to get ready for our first night there. We decided to buy tickets for La Noche Mexicana, which is part of the resort. They have different events every day. You do have to purchase your tickets there on their kiosk or with the staff there. And I think it was only $20. So here, trying to get ready for La Noche Mexicana, and yeah, so that's a little bit of me getting ready. Another tip that I can give you if you decide to stay at this resort at any point, and I think it applies to any resort, is that they do have different restaurants in their location. So you can eat either the all-inclusive food that they have, or you can make reservations for one of the restaurants. I believe Bahia had about 4 restaurants, but unfortunately we did not get to try any of them. Why? Because we did not make reservations ahead of time. And I figured, let me just wait. But upon arrival, most of them were all booked since we did arrive on a Thursday. So those are the days that they're more busiest, the weekend. So a bummer was that we did not get to try the food at any of the other restaurants besides the buffet and the other food truck that they had there. So just heads up, if you go to this resort or any resort, make sure that you make reservations ahead of time for any of their additional restaurants so that you don't miss out or come across the same issue that we did, them telling you we're all booked for the rest of the week. So yeah. So I thought I was recording myself, doing my hair, finishing my makeup, getting ready, and showing you my outfit, but apparently I didn't. I did have a lot of issues with my personal camera, so I started recording with my phone at the end of the day. But here I'm just finishing getting ready. I did like my eye makeup look. As you can see, I was already kind of red, but the next day I was super red. But we got into a trolley that was taking us to Noche Mexicana, to the hacienda where this event took place. It was literally like a block away, not even. But they would take you, as you can see, it was packed. So imagine the restaurant. So that's why I highly recommend that you do reservations ahead of time and plan accordingly. And as you walk into the hacienda, they had a Frida Kahlo station. Then the hacienda looked amazing at night, because during the day it still looks the same, but obviously the lights are not turned on, and it's just a bunch of shops. It's like a shopping area. But for this specific event, they had the lights on. They had different stands with games, food, entertainment, and music. It was just amazing, and all for only $20, and it was a great experience. We really enjoyed it, and it actually was long. I think it started like at 7:30 and it ended around 12 or something like that. So you really got your money's worth for this event, which is La Noche Mexicana at the hacienda. So this is a little bit of what we experienced that day, eating amazing food. It was on a Friday, so they had fish and octopus, which I tried it for the first time. Yeah, I have to say it wasn't my thing, but at least I tried it. We had some type of sopa. It was amazing, and I'll let you just see the rest of the entertainment they had during this Noche Mexicana.
Experience your stunning cultural event, the Great Mexican Celebration, in which we'll take you on a journey through history and traditions in Mexico.
This was the back part of the hacienda. I wanted to show you guys how that looked. It wasn't busy because it's actually another day. It wasn't the Noche Mexicana, but I included this clip here so that you had an idea of what the back area looked of the hacienda. And there's more shops on the other side and then outside as well. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. After the Noche Mexicana, we went back to our resort and they had the club going. Every night there was entertainment. So they had music, karaoke some nights. People were just jamming. For day numero dos, we got up early again. We went to the buffet. We got to sit in this area, which was lovely, and eat again and enjoy our breakfast before we hit the pool. I was really living my best in Tulum, just eating my nachos as I watched everybody exercise in the morning because the entertainment team always had yoga, some types of Zumba or exercising, but no, I was over here eating my nachos and cheering everyone on. Then we stayed there in the pool all day and got ready for dinner in Tulum Pueblo. We decided to make reservations in this nice restaurant that was recommended to us in Tulum Pueblo. And it was super nice, very intimate. In the video you'll see that it looks bigger than it actually is, but it was still a good place to visit. And I wish I could play the music they were playing at the actual restaurant, but I only play a little bit of it because if not my video will be taken down. But we went to Onyx, and again, super nice, very Tulum vibes, you know. The food was okay, nothing out of this world, but it was good. The drinks were definitely 10 out of 10, and then the customer service was on point. They were treating us like VIP, not that we're not. We are VIP in our own little world, but they were giving us free drinks and they were coming and talk to us and we were asking us questions. So it was super nice. Then this entertainment came towards the end of our time there in the restaurant, and it was super nice to see it up front. It gives me chills just to think about it because you can see the performers how serious they take this tradition and how proud they are of the culture, and it was just amazing. So yeah, here's a little clip of that. They did also wanted to hype everyone up there, so they had like sparklers towards the end, and then they came around with tequila and gave like tequila to everybody while the music was playing. So it was also a very nice experience, and definitely recommend you going to this restaurant if you're in Tulum Pueblo. Day numero tres is one of the days that I was really looking forward to because we were heading to Xcaret. We did buy our tickets ahead of time through the resort. You can buy them online or through your resort. Highly recommend you to do that. Do not get scammed buying them at the airport or anywhere else. So we arrived to Xcaret through the bus transportation that we got, and it was about a 25-minute ride. Then their package included one free dinner the entire day at Xcaret, the performance at the end, and then exploring everything they had. This was really such a once-in-a-time experience. It is pricey, I have to tell you, but it's worth the money for sure. It's not something you do every day. It just had so many things, and I'm pretty sure we didn't even see half of the stuff because it's so much stuff going on. I do recommend you to start off with all the water activities if you ever go to Xcaret, and then move on to the dry stuff so that you're ready to experience the final showpiece that they have towards the end. But we did all the water stuff at the beginning. They do have showers there and lockers for you to get ready later for the show. So we arrived there like around maybe 9:40 or 10, and the event at the end I believe ends like around 9:30 or 9:20. So we were literally there all day, and surprisingly we weren't tired. We were having so much fun. Again, it's once in a lifetime experience. Another thing about Xcaret that I really recommend is for you to purchase the photos package, because that includes for you to get photos taken throughout the park with one of their cameras, like as many shots as you can, 1,000,000 pictures, 100 pictures, whatever you want, and it captures you throughout your trip, as long as you're scanning your barcode that you have with your wristband. So here we came across this part that was hidden. It was just super nice, and I just can't get enough of Xcaret. I have to say that that was my favorite part of the trip. When you're planning your trip to Xcaret, also keep in mind for your budget that there's other activities that you can buy additionally with your admission ticket. So your admission ticket just gives you access to certain things. There's different types of admission tickets. Keep that in mind first. But there's also options such as swimming with the dolphins, swimming with turtles, you name it, they had it all. You could do it all. We personally did not buy anything extra. We still got to see the animals. We didn't feel the need to buy any extra stuff, because I also feel that you can do like all those stuff at your resort for a cheaper price. So to each his own. But we did walk a lot during that day. We did come across many animals, such as like this one. We were very curious to see like, what is it? We didn't know. I did do some research, and it is actually the Curamundi. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, probably not, but it's also known as a Mexican raccoon, and that's what we thought it was. They actually live all across North and South America, in regions like Central America and Brazil, and they're also an important part of wildlife in Mexico. So you always learn something new. And they were everywhere, literally everywhere, but they were living their best, not bothering anyone. It was just nice to see wildlife as well as performances throughout the entire day, and so many things to do in Xcaret. Then we head out to one of the restaurants. They do have a bunch of restaurants. At this point, I don't remember how many, but we ended up going with this one. It just smelled good. The vibes were immaculate, so we went with this one. I believe the name was La Cocina. And I can say that out of all the food I ate at Tulum, by far this was the best, the most authentic. I just feel like it had the right sazon. Come on, look at those tacos. You can't tell me you don't want a taco or two or three or four. My mouth is watering just to think about them and seeing them in the video. And then that water was on point, especially because it was so hot that day. So definitely recommend La Cocina, if that's the right name, but you'll see it at the entrance. It's towards the entrance of Xcaret. Then we just walked around on the other side of Xcaret, which is more of the dry stuff. And they had this lovely church with a really nice history. And I did get a video of the inside. Warning, if you get easily sick from a lot of movement, don't watch the next part, because for some reason it looks like I'm going fast mode with my camera, and I wasn't. So I don't know what happened there. But the church, not only was it beautiful, but as you're going in, it looks like there's actual people there in church. But when you go down and you start looking to the side, it's not actual people. It's cutouts of individuals that are no longer with us anymore, like Frida Kahlo, El Chapulín Colorado, Vicente Fernández, you name it, Juan Gabriel. There were so many important people that made a difference in Mexico or in the region, and they're no longer with us. So it was a really nice experience to get to see that. They also had the horses that they used for the end of the show at night, and they just had them there walking so people could see them and take pictures with them. So this was a really nice part of Xcaret. I thought I had more clips, or I can't find them in my other camera, of the wildlife, where it was more like plants and other animals, not such as in the water, but I don't know what happened to those clips. But they also had little shops where you could purchase so many things. I wanted it all, but I had self-control. Now this is one part of Xcaret that I really like too. You would have to climb like this pyramid, and then in the top of that pyramid there was a bunch of little miniatures of different towns in Mexico. The way they were recreated was amazing. I wish you could really see the amount of detail the artist put into this. The video's not giving them any justice, but it was amazing. I love anything miniature, and to see all the little towns was just lovely. Then we got ready, we changed, and headed to the side of the park where the actual big show for the end of the night takes place. Going in to that part of the park is an experience on its own. And wait till you see the show. I didn't record everything because I don't want to give it all away. I kind of do, so don't watch it if you don't want to see. But just this part was a show on its own. Look at those costumes. Come on. They're like amazing. Their makeup is amazing. All the actors are literally on point. Like, they take their character to the heart because they're so committed, and you can see their passion too for the culture, like I've mentioned. And it was just an amazing experience walking in. And I know why now, but walking in, I already had chills. Like, I had like a lot of emotions going on throughout the entire day because it was such a lovely day and such a memorable experience overall. But the show itself took my breath away, not only because the performers were like amazing in their craft, but you'll see, and I'll talk more about it. But this is the beginning of the show. You do get to sit wherever you want, unless you purchase like a VIP ticket. You get like more up front, so do arrive a little bit earlier so that you get good seats. Our seats were up high, but they were still good. This part of the show, they gave us a candle. Everybody turned it on as a symbol of life and those that are no longer with us too, in celebration of life and everything that we have around us. So it was already very emotional to me at the beginning. If you don't know me, I'm a very emotional person, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I already, like I said, I had this feeling in me that I was like, oh my God, I feel so blessed to be here. And we got to experience so many different shows throughout the entire performance of the night. For example, this was a game that it's like almost like hockey. And I was like, what is it? What is it? And then they explain to you what it is. But I hope I'm not butchering this, but I believe it's called the Uarakua. The Urakua Chanukwa is basically like a hockey game, but they play it with fire. So it was very amazing. They also play another game that I didn't include here, but it's almost like basketball, but it's the Aztec version of ball game, which it's called Oyamalitsi. And this is like the performance they did of celebration for the team that won the game. So basically they just use like a rubber ball, but instead of like using their hands, they use their hips to get it through a hoop. It was just very, very nice to see that and learn about that as well. Here they did a performance throughout the this part of the show, and towards the end, what they were doing in the ground, we noticed that it was this amazing Virgen de Guadalupe, and it was just so amazing. They had different traditional dances through different states, and that's what really got me, because it reminded me of how blessed I am to be Mexican. And I'm getting emotional just talking about it, but I do really get emotional because I saw so many tourists just amazed by the shows. And of course, they have the right to be amazed, but for me it was more, not only was I amazed by everything, all the performances, but more because I was like, that's the culture I grew up in. I'm used to that. I know what those dances are. I'm blessed that my parents showed us this stuff, and just to see it in life and see the expressions on other people that didn't grow up with this type of dances or culture is just like, I'm so blessed, and I love my culture, and it was just amazing. I think I cried like 5 times during the show or more, or probably the entire show. My boyfriend was probably like, this girl needs to stop crying. But again, to me, it just reminded me again of like how beautiful Mexico is. For this one was La Danza de los Viejitos. This one's the one that literally made me cry a lot. My mocos were probably hanging too because it was just a beautiful show. And at the end, when they took their mask off, they were actual viejitos, like people that were like individuals that were like in their 70s or 80s, and they were so proud of their performance, and that just brought life to their face, and it just made me emotional. And then this is another amazing dance from Veracruz. All the performances were nice, and this was the end of the show, and it was just amazing. That was like the cherry on the top of this show. Day numero 4 was officially our last full day technically there. So we headed out to Tulum Pueblo, where we ate at Burgerito Tulum. Let me tell you, those drinks were nasty, as they called them, referring to them as amazing. And the burrito was out of this world. It was amazing. And the whole vibes were nice. The music was nice. It was super hot though. It was a really hot day. Then we headed out to Matcha Mama, which is a very well-known smoothie, matcha, and acai bowl place. We actually wanted to go to the other location in Tulum, which is by the ruins, but I think I didn't know how to tell the taxi driver to take us there. He ended up taking us to this location, but whatever. We ended up in Tulum Pueblo all day, which was not the intention because we wanted to go to the other side of Tulum, where there's more stuff, where you can take pictures and see the ruins and all of that. But it was what it was. Now, overall, Matcha Mama, the vibes were on point. The drink, I would give it like a 7. It wasn't amazing, but it was hitting the point at that time because it was super hot. But we ended up just walking around at the little stores. We came across this Bendita Tierra store, which was super cute. I wanted all their handbags, and I regret not getting one single thing there. It is pricey though, because a lot of tourists go there. But yeah, we just kept on shopping around to see what we were bringing back home, and we spent all day in Tulum Pueblo and headed back to the resort. And you'll see I included a clip that I wanted to share with you guys, because at the end of the night they do have like this little taco truck that's open all day or all night. And the first night that we got there, we saw a bunch of raccoons, and it was just crazy to see like this family of raccoons just chilling there. And they were big, and they were just running around everywhere, staring you down, waiting for food. And some people were scared of them. I was scared at the beginning, but they were just there, living their best, trying to get food. It was just weird to see them in the beach. Just like that, our last day arrived. We spent the morning getting breakfast. Then we went to the beach for a little bit. I wanted to find seashells, but I couldn't find any. I think because of all the seaweed there was, but I did find like 4 of them. I'll show you a picture of a few. Then I found some later. But we just spent the time enjoying the weather, and then we did walk to the hacienda again, where all the little shops are at, to do last minute shopping that we didn't really need because we didn't even have any room in our luggage anymore. But this is how the hacienda looked in the morning. It's still beautiful. And yeah, we just did a bit of shopping before we headed out to the airport, which was the least favorite part of this trip, which is the travel. Now, something that the resort does do is entertainment team does say their goodbyes at the end for anyone coming in or leaving. At this point it was leaving because there was a lot of people leaving. We headed to the airport. The airport ride sucked. It was like 2 hours or more because traffic was crazy. So make sure you coordinate your traveling time properly, and make sure you call your transportation ahead of time with your hotel and have all of that ready ahead of time, because you have to take into consideration the distance from Tulum to Cancun International Airport. Just a warning. But yeah, the airport itself is beautiful. It's like a shopping center. I wanted everything, and there's no taxes, so I regret not buying the purse that I wanted because it had no taxes. But we waited a long time. Now, sadly, at this point, as I was waiting for the plane to board us, I started feeling some type of way. I do suffer from very bad allergies, and I thought it was just that, the transition from the very hot weather outside and the very cold airport, then being in the plane, it just sucked. I had a horrible flight home. And again, I just thought it was my allergies because that's all that I was feeling, very congested, a headache. But I tested when I got home, it was negative. But then unfortunately in the weekend, I tested positive for COVID. But I'm all good now. This is why it took me long to upload this. But I'm still blessed to have the opportunity to travel with the person that I love and to create lovely memories that I can share with you guys. So make sure that you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe and hit that notification button so that you're notified when my next video goes up. Thanks for watching and for your support. Bye bye.